Good afternoon. So today is August 16th and this is daily attendance, okay? So I think that you have one day to put this in because I need to get in my daily attendance, and so that's why. So make sure that's why it's only one day, because I have a deadline for that. There's a discussion board in one of my classes, I think it's English 145, that just won't cooperate at all, and it doesn't work, so it won't allow for you all to comment on that. So if that is the case, and thank you so much for everyone that's been letting me know, in particular one of my students, and he's gone back to check it out after I am supposed to have fixed it and it didn't get fixed. So I appreciate you. Thank you so much. You know who you are. And who all of you all are that told me on that. So just don't worry about it. We'll figure it out. And if not, we'll, it's I don't know what to do. So I'll try to figure it out. Part of being a lifelong learner, right? Trying to figure out the glitches in the system. So that's it. Today's daily attendance for yesterday as well. Remember that we only have 2 daily attendance, and there will not be a daily attendance for tomorrow, okay? Or Thursday or Friday. We do have chapter 1 for everyone that will be, due midnight Wednesday. So you still have a full day. The links are already up. So for you overachievers that you asking, the links are already up. Excuse me. Please make sure that you take notes, because sometimes you get all, worried because you're looking for a specific homework assignment that wasn't your homework assignment, that was for another class. So, so some of you are looking for tests when the class doesn't have like tests in the back and they just has objectives, or you're looking for objectives and it's like a test that you're looking for that's going to be graded like an assignment. So be mindful and pay attention, okay? It's important for you to pay attention. Part of the mistakes that come is because we don't pay attention, we don't read well, and we assume, and we don't thoroughly go through the things. If you're just looking at the first thing that, comes up in the video, then that's what it is, So be mindful. The videos yesterday's video was really long. It was 30 minutes, but everything was important. And, so I don't know, some people complain that, there's no class. And then when I sort of, give instructions and this and that, then it's too long. So, happy medium, right? And getting stuff done. So homework due tomorrow midnight. Make sure that you have the appropriate homework and don't go crazy. I am available. I can't stress enough that I prefer Teams. It's just easier for me. I only check my dashboard possibly in the mornings and don't check it till the next day. So it will take longer if you write me through email or if you write me through the bubble on dashboard, okay? I've opened all the links, okay, for the assignments. And you only have, for the assignments from last week, you have till today midnight, so get them in, all right? So there's very few that have really taken advantage of that, all right? There's some students that have reached out to me, and then I reach back up, and I don't get an answer. So, no mercy, right? I mean, I've tried my best. So you need to respond, okay? I'm busy as well, so if I can respond, most definitely you guys can too, okay? And it is in your interest to respond, especially if you're missing assignments, all right? Very interesting, because what happens is, like on Tuesday, that's why I've really hurried up. So today's Tuesday, there will be an automation of retention. And so what it does is it populates people that are failing, all right? And so what happens with that is that you get on a list. Lists aren't good, all right? So you get on a list, all right? And at least this list. And so you get on a list, and so you're going to be hearing from me because you're missing assignments. Not only will you be hearing from me, you'll be hearing from our director's office. And if you continue to be failing, then the director will contact you. So in order for us not to be hounding you, and I call people, they don't answer. That's really funny. So in order for, to people not hound on you, please get those assignments out. I was very generous in opening the links, so get them in. Let me talk about school for a minute, okay? I wasn't going to talk about school, but I'm going to talk about grades and the way those work. You only have, I think, a week to drop your course, or 3 days. Those are really important to know, okay? First and foremost, for several things. If you're a no-show, that means you haven't showed up, okay? And no excuse will be valid. So just bottom line, okay? So I'm just letting you know, because it costs you in the end lots of money, and it costs your GPA. And once you fail a class, it is, and your GPA goes down, it's almost impossible to get your GPA up to a normal. So you start at 0, or you could say you start at 100, especially if you're first coming in, okay? And so you have a clean slate. So if you don't show up to class, like you just like pretend it's not there, and you don't worry about it, and you don't answer my calls, and you don't want to talk about it because you already missed it, and you're so overwhelmed, and you don't know what to do, and this is so hard, whatever's coming up next is going to be harder, because this is what's going to happen next, okay? So you don't answer my calls, you don't make arrangements for anything, right? You just sort of give up, all right? So your deadline for dropping the class is passed, and they're not gonna let you off on that, okay? So just so you'll know, and it's a very short deadline, like it's like 3 days or a week, okay? It's possibly in your policies and procedures. So what happens is that you're a no-show, you're embarrassed, or whatever is going on, or you're overwhelmed, but you don't drop the course. I cannot drop the course for you, okay? So when you don't turn work in, I have to give you a 0, okay? Have to, all right? Because if I don't give you a 0, first of all, you didn't turn in your work, right? So it's not graded. And so if I don't grade it, then they come to me and they're like, you missed it or whatever. And so that shows that it's lack of professionalism, even though I'm giving you a break and waiting for you to turn in your work so I can grade it. It doesn't work that way, because it looks like I didn't do my thorough grading. It looks like I have C's. It looks like it's incomplete, and I'm not meeting the requirements of whatever my job description is, okay? So, and the system will not allow for me to keep it open, so I have to give you a grade. I have to. And your grade's going to be a 0 because you didn't turn anything in. And this is for any class or any type of life that you have. Like if anything happens to you at work, it's important to communicate it, okay? Or have somebody communicate it if you can't communicate, because it's better to advise everybody and tell everybody what's going on, so that way it doesn't seem like you didn't care, because the repercussions of you not advising people, or you're just not showing up at all, are huge, okay? So I give you a 0. So I give you a 0. Like you're not even a no-show. You're like a 0, okay? Because a no-show is like you didn't show up. But not only are you no-show, but you're like failing. And so you get a 0 with my class because you never called me back. You never made arrangements. It's so far into the semester that happens. So what happens? So you fail your class, right? You can fail mine, or you can fail everybody else's that you didn't fail, all right? Or you decide not to come back to school, but you don't close out the school, like you don't close it out. It's important to close out systems that you can close out. Relationships, sometimes you can't close them out, but systems you can, and it's important to close them out. So because you didn't close it out, or you decide not to come back, or whatever, you're embarrassed, or it's too overwhelming, or it's too much money, or whatever, you didn't do the appropriate closing out, what's going to happen is that you're going to get a 0. That's going to affect your GPA. You're going to go into probation. And then in addition to that, they charge you. So they don't, like, systems don't care, right? We care in Southwest, and that's why we call you, and that's why there's retention calls, okay? But in the end, we can't do anything. We can't do anything for you if you don't reach out and you don't make arrangements and you let it go. So what happens is that you get, you get charged your class, okay? And there's no refund, and then you have your GPA, and affects your GPA tremendously. So should you come in next term, you're going to have a lower GPA. It's going to be hard for you to sustain a GPA or get into any other types of like nursing school or whatever that you want to, any type of other certifications or programs that you need to. And even though you think this is all I'm going to do, once you master and get a certification, you're going to want to get another one, and then another one, and then higher degrees and higher degrees. So make sure that you close it out, because not only is it super expensive for you, but it affects your GPA, and those are things you can't change, okay? So it's better, like they say in Spanish, más vale una vez colorado que mil descoloridas. It's better to be red one time than to be discolored the other time. So that means that if you're embarrassed, you're just one time, and that's it. You don't have to go through it, and then you don't have to not answer my calls, because I'm going to have to keep calling you, because that's part of the requirements for this endeavor and this program that we have in order to keep our students in school, okay? And so if you don't respond, and there's some students that contact me and like, I'm available, right? And then I don't respond because they did a bubble, you know, maybe like at 5 o'clock in the morning, and then I call you next time, or I email you, or I contact you or text, and you don't respond, and then you pretend and you let it go. It's to your interest to respond, okay? Because I am giving you a break and I'm trying to save you. Really, in the end, your teachers are trying to save you, and so is the school, from a course that they're going to charge, and also from your GPA. Your GPA, if it drops, is brutal. Like, you have no idea how important your GPA is. That's why my class is so important in the end. A lot of people disregard my class, and my class is really important for all sorts of reasons. It's a simple 100, right? And it's an easy class, so you hardly don't get those in school, all right? So my class is super, super important. It's like something that could be really easily attainable. So be mindful of that. So if you don't have your paperwork in, or your assignments, or your daily attendance, we will be calling you, because it auto-populates you, and you're going to be on this list. And until you get off, we're going to be calling you. And if you don't up your assignments or get your GPA, then, you know, you go through the system, and eventually the director will be calling you, and you will eventually be put on probation, which means that, you know, they might suspend you, okay, because you don't have a good GPA and you're not sustaining your end of the deal, which is showing up to class, passing your courses, and proceeding on to your next level in term. Okay, so we're here to help you understand that, but you guys are grown, okay? That's it. So take responsibility, show up, and you'll get it done, okay? So that concludes today. I will not see you. We will do Teams meeting next week. You know, make sure that you get everything in. Everything's open. There's a deadline for today. Okay, I think it's on the past, you know, assignments that were last week. And then, of course, there's an assignment for Wednesday for your homework that needs to be in. And all those links are up, okay? And we're on week 1, okay, still, okay? So hope that it was a good week. I'm sure it is. You know, I'm very pleased with the way things are going. So, and it's barely like a week. Okay, namaste, love and light.